Okay, start of day 4. We are back and we are ready to keep going. A little bit tired, a little bit worn out, but we're gonna keep going with it. So Ola's gonna take off on the drywall. Just gonna keep, you're gonna hit your second float coat on all your tape joints, start floating out elevations and low points. And Grady's gonna help you sand the texture so that it's prepared for a second leveling coat on all the textured surfaces. While they're doing those things, I'm gonna go over to the living room side and cut in some lights in the ceiling there because they've never had ceiling lights in there. So we're gonna do the same kind of lights and put them in the corners. And then we gotta take out this old vent for the swamp cooler, take that out, cut off the drywall in the ceiling portions and put in a big patch. We're not gonna get crazy in that living room just yet because we wanna try to wrap this up and get this project put back together so there's room to move things around. But we are gonna take care of the harder parts right now. We're gonna get the wiring pulled for the lights, get them connected and patch this hole. Probably not a big long day today because it's drywall mud, that's how it goes. You spend some time prepping, getting things sanded and prepared, throw the mud on, then you have to just wait. There's all you can do. So it's a rainy day too, so that adds humidity and make it gonna dry a little bit slower. So it'll be fine, but we'll get after it. This swamp cooler vent has been quite an eyesore for my sister for the past several years. And last year, they removed the swamp cooler and were able to install a central air system. So ever since then, she's been pretty anxious to get rid of this eyesore. And then while we're at it, we'll fix up a little bit of the drywall that's been damaged from the moisture over time. So I'm cutting the drywall back where any sign of moisture damage was, making sure that we're fully clear of all of that. We weren't exactly sure how complicated installing lights was going to be in this ceiling. We knew we had to get a switch wire pulled from the ceiling all the way down through the wall next to the door so that they could be able to turn them on and off. As it just so happens, when we pulled the vent down, we found a junction box just inside the ceiling there that led up to the old pump system for the swamp cooler. That junction box had 2 legs of road mix pulled up from the switch box in the wall, which is right next to the door, which meant the hard work of getting Romex from the wall switch up to the ceiling was already done and we didn't have to worry about it. So we separated the 2 pieces of Romex and put one going over to the ceiling fan and left one to use for the new lighting. Then down on the wall, we would simply cut out the single gang box and put in a 2-gang box. That way we had a switch control for the lights and a separate switch control for the fan. We sure hit the lotto with that one. That would have been a hard pull to have to work through. The only other thing we needed was for the ceiling fan, and that was a strong support box, which has a cross brace that goes between the trusses and anchors to it. Luckily, they make this in a remodel version, which allows you to cut the small 4-inch hole and insert the components up through the hole. The brace then just threads out to put pressure between the 2 studs, allowing it to lock in and hold the weight of the fan. This bracket holds up to 70 pounds weight for a ceiling fan box. Day 4 ended with getting the lighting installed in the living room. So we got that part done. We got the ceiling fan box relocated, and we got all that buttoned up, so that's good. They were able to get mid coat and third coat on most of the walls, and they were able to get the first skim coat on the ceiling. Today is day 5. So we're gonna try to hit everything for finish coat and get done with that. Hopefully we're left with a pretty smooth ceiling. We're gonna hit that first so that it can hopefully dry out within a couple of hours so that we're ready for texture. We should have everything done today to be ready for paint on day 6. And then we'll give it an extra day in between. So day 7 will be 1 day in between, just letting the paint cure. And then day 8 we'll come back and install cabinets and have it ready for the countertop guys to come in and make their templates and get the countertop built. This whole kitchen remodel plan has been on and off the table for probably 10 years now. My sister's never quite been satisfied with the kitchen, with the way that it lays out, and with the functionality of the kitchen cabinets. So over the years, they've done a few minor things here and there to try to improve it or try to make it a little bit better and be more okay with the way that it works. One of the biggest hurdles always seems to be the amount of drywall work that needs to be done. It seems like everybody I know, including myself, at times, that does their own amount of remodel work has one common complaint, and that's drywall. It seems like you spend hours putting it on the wall just to spend even more hours sanding it off and making it all fall to the floor. In preparation for our own remodel that we did a couple years ago, Ola spent a lot of time with how-to tutorials trying to improve her drywall skills so that remodel would go a lot smoother for us. Since then, she's always said that sanding drywall is the best motivator for learning proper knife technique with drywall. So likewise, in preparation for this remodel, Kim has been spending a lot of time watching tutorials on drywall techniques and how to do it. So when we started into it, she wasn't afraid to jump right in and practice those skills she's been watching. And I think that helped take a lot of the pressure and resistance off of this remodel. Kim and I have been dear friends for nearly 30 years since our young days in high school, and we've worked on many, many projects together. So it's always fun to get to work on a project with her and see her advance her skill set on some other little nuanced detail that we're working on together. Luckily, the work that Kim and I did late into the night didn't leave that much sanding effort to be done. A quick touch-up sand on all the surfaces to blend off any knife edges and make sure that the feathering was blended out nicely, and then everything would be ready to go. One simple trick that Ola picked up was to use a spotlight or a flashlight and shine it across the surface of the wall, casting shadow on any ridge or deformity in the wall surface. So while she sanded and inspected the walls to make sure that they were done to her quality standards, I was actively installing a beam wrap on the beam that divides the kitchen and the living room. Over the years, we've fixed cracks that surface in the drywall on that beam at least a half dozen times, and they just keep coming back as the house shifts and settles. This time, we were going to fix it for good, meaning we were just going to wrap it with MDF and cover the whole thing and make it a lot smoother and more pretty. So once Ola is done sanding the ceiling and walls, she's going to come back over to this beam and caulk the seams and edges. That's another skill that she picked up while learning how to do drywall effectively. She found a couple of techniques that really reduce the amount of mess that comes from caulking the edges, and with a little bit of practice, she perfected them pretty well. She's now my A1 go-to caulker for any trim work that we do.
If you ever need me, baby, just call me. I waste no time, love, I'll come straight to you. Oh, the river's wide, dear, and the road is muddy. Even if I gotta swim there, you know I'll be there soon. I love you like a garden underneath the rainfall, cooling off a heat wave in the summertime. Are you the kind of woman a man get used to? I'm the kind of man that I wanna make you mine. If you ever need me, honey, just call me. I waste no time, love, I come straight to you. Oh, the river's wide, dear, and the road is muddy. Even if I gotta swim there, you know I'll be there soon. If you would've told me your mom was coming, I would've worn my finest clothes. I'm just a poor boy, I ain't got nothing, but I got love, babe, for you I know. So if you ever need me, honey, just call me. I waste no time, man, I come straight to you. All the river's wide, dear, and the road is muddy. Even if I gotta swim there, you know I'll be there soon. Got your letter, dear, in the mail on Sunday. The words you said was so plain to see. Oh, you don't want me coming round no more. I don't want no love, don't love me. Ah, but if you ever need me, honey, just call me. I'll waste no time, love, I'll come straight to you. Now the river's wide, dear, and the road is muddy. Even if I gotta swim there, you know I'll be there soon. Even if I gotta swim there, you know I'll be there soon.
It's primed, and now we're putting an actual paint on the ceiling, and then we're going to cut in the walls and the trim. Day 6, and we're here. Can you believe it? I can't believe we're here.
We knew the painting was going to be kind of a process because the ceiling and the wall colors are different, and each layer type requires 1 hour cure time between coats. That meant once we got the primer on, it had to be cured for an hour before we could start painting. We decided to paint the ceiling first since it was base white, and then the walls would come after since it's a slightly darker off-white color. That would make it easier to cut in over top of the white and get full coverage versus trying to cover color with white. So Kim's moving along ahead of me with a 4-inch roller, trying to work the corners and get it out a few inches from that edge. Then I can come back over that with my big roller and blend the texture and blend out that seam. That's the system we used all the way around on every layer. Now that we're on the wall color, Ola's getting a roller width down the wall, but then using a brush to get a real fine cut-in line, nice crisp line in the corner between the ceiling and the wall. I'm trying to come behind her fairly quickly because I don't want the paint that she's applying to start to dry out before I get there. Any texture left from her brush marks and roller marks will stay there permanently and not blend off if I'm too late. 1 week ago today, we pulled up here to start a demo and start ripping a kitchen apart for my sister. And we're gonna go in there now and put cabinets in place.
That's so exciting. They worked pretty hard, like till like midnight or so, putting the cabinets all together, assembling them. and now we're gonna put them up. So it's gonna be a big deal.
Yeah.
Tomorrow they should have the countertop guys come in.
Yep,
to
countertops
measure.
are coming to make their templates tomorrow so they can build the solid surface countertops, and they probably are going to be about a week out on that, but at least they'll have it ready to go. So
yeah, it's
exciting.
A whole week. This is the fastest remodel we've ever been a part of. And I think it's because of the teamwork.
Yep.
I think when we knock something down, there's kids to pick things up. If we fix something, it's already fixed. You know, it's just
there's always another pair of hands anticipating what you're doing and ready to hand you something or get the thing so you don't have to turn and grab, and
yeah,
it makes a big difference. So
well, let's go see what they got together. That's awesome.
There's the dream team putting the cabinets together. I mentioned before that these are flat pack or RTA, ready to assemble cabinets, meaning that they come boxed up and ready for you to put them together. So they've been busy for the past day and a half while the paint cures, getting these cabinets assembled and ready to go on the wall today. One of the key features of this particular set of cabinets is the integrated hook plate at the top rear corners of every cabinet. There's a corresponding hanging rail that is formed out of heavy gauge steel with holes pre-stamped every 2 inches, making the installation a breeze. We simply have to measure and mark the height and elevation of where we want the rail to sit, level it, and install it directly to the studs. Then the cabinets simply lift and hook right onto the rail and rest in place on the wall. We can then further adjust the cabinets left to right a little bit as needed to make sure that the alignment is correct and precisely where we want them to be. All of that can be done without fumbling over the weight of the cabinet sitting on your shoulder, trying to hold it against the wall. The lower cabinets also use the same hook and rail system, but they also come with integrated feet underneath that are adjustable. This allows you to further adjust the base cabinets to get them fully plumb and fully level before the countertop would go on. That eliminates the need for having to use shims and shim underneath one side or one edge of the cabinet or at the back of the cabinet to help bring it all into alignment. So as long as you take the time to get all your measurements worked out and make sure that that rail is nice and level, then the installation is a breeze. Once we have all of the cabinets situated and aligned, we'll clamp them together and screw the side plates together with cabinet screws, locking everything right into place. But first, a quick pause to save the sunshade from a massive hailstorm that just blew in. Okay, we are done for tonight. We got all the cabinets mounted, all the doors on the uppers and everything's set into place. All the lowers are in place. The countertop crew is coming tomorrow in the afternoon to build their templates and measure and set out for the countertop build. It's going to be a solid surface quartz, so it might take them a week or so to get the countertop all built and set into place. That was the big push to make sure we could get here to this point tonight. It's Sunday night, 12:40, and we started Sunday a week ago with the full demo, all the drywall, the beam wrap, the whole cabinet install, everything, all the drywall work and the paint and everything. It's late, we're tired, we're calling it a night.